The first step will be to go to the billing menu found at the top of eClinicalWorks, to miscellaneous configuration options, then choose Setup Transworld. Be sure to check the box to enable Transworld Collection Agency. Your Transworld ID should already be placed here. If you do not yet have a Transworld ID, please contact eClinicalWorks support or Transworld directly. eClinicalWorks will fill in these 3 fields for you as part of the activation process. This is essential setup to make sure that the file can be sent securely from your eClinicalWorks application to Transworld with information about accounts for collection. At the bottom of this window, you can choose what action should be taken when the patient has paid their balance in full. You can choose Paid in Full, in which case Transworld will simply be informed that the balance is paid and they no longer need to send letters. Or you can choose Paid and Send Thank You Letter. There's no additional charge for this service. Transworld will send a letter to the patient acknowledging appreciation for the fact that they have paid their balance. Once you've made your selections here, click OK, and you're ready to move on to your other setup option, which is also found under the billing menu, this time under Setup Collection. Here you'll find your various collection cycles. Each practice may have a different workflow for this. Choose the collection cycle where your accounts will be when you want to send them to Transworld. You will have to choose one collection cycle for this purpose. In my example, I'm going to use the final cycle, but keep in mind you can use whatever cycle is appropriate for your workflow. Select the cycle, then click Update. And at the bottom, check the box to show that this cycle is an external agency cycle. Click OK. And from now on, when you look for accounts in this collection cycle, you will find a new column on the right-hand side called External Status. If the column is blank, that means that Transworld is not yet aware of this account. If it says Start, that shows that you've sent a start file to Transworld to initiate the process of sending letters to attempt to collect the amount that is owed. If the status is Stop, that means that you have sent an update. Stop doesn't literally mean that you told Transworld to stop sending letters. Stop could be just as an update to inform Transworld that there has been a change to the balance as well. For demonstration, I'm going to select a couple of accounts that I'm going to send to Transworld now. You can do this on whatever routine basis you find appropriate for your workflow, daily, weekly, or monthly. After you select the accounts you'd like to send to Transworld, use the Patient Details menu. So next to Patient Details, you have a green arrow. Click on that arrow to get the menu and choose Upload Start File to Transworld Collection Agency. When you initiate this, you may get some helpful reminders. For example, it lets me know that Amber Daniels has a balance of 0. So I probably don't want to send her information to Transworld since she really doesn't owe me anything anymore. So it asks if I want to uncheck her and continue with the selected patients. So I'll say yes. Now it's also letting me know that another patient I selected is missing some essential information for sending the letters. In this case, John doesn't have an address in his record, so Transworld will have a difficult time generating a letter for him. So I'll probably want to copy this list and go pursue that information and input it before I send the file. In this case, for demonstration, I'm just going to close that and send it anyway. So it's now going to ask, are you sure you want to continue generating the file even though there were those errors? And in this case, I'll just say yes. Now it generates a transmission file or a start file because we're sending new accounts to Transworld to start collection. You can save this wherever you choose on your local system. This is a temporary file so that you can then send it securely to Transworld. Please do not rename the file. The name of this file is an essential identifier, and the naming convention is set so that Transworld can identify your account and the date the file was sent. Save it where you please on your local system, and then you'll be asked if you want to upload that file to Transworld. Say yes. Within a second or two, you're going to get a notification that that file was sent successfully. Click OK to acknowledge that confirmation. And now it's going to say that if that file was sent successfully, choose yes to update the external status to start. So next time you look at this, you'll see that you've already sent this account to Transworld. I'll say yes, and you'll see that now John Eck shows start in external status. On some routine basis, you will also choose to send updates to Transworld when payments are received. I'm going to quickly post a payment for John to demonstrate that. Normally, of course, you would post these payments in full detail to the claim level, possibly to the CPT level. But I'm going to just very quickly put in that he paid $140 and return back to collection management. So next time I look at my accounts, in recent activity I see that John has paid $140 and his balance is $0. But you actually don't have to manually review the accounts. eClinicalWorks is going to detect that for you. So if I go down to the Patient Details menu and click on that arrow again, I also have the option to upload stop files to Transworld. This will automatically detect any patients with changes to their balance since the last time you sent a file to Transworld. You can choose all accounts or choose which ones you want to send. Then click OK. It will now generate a stop file, which you can also save wherever you would like on your local system temporarily so that you can then transmit it to Transworld. Click Save, and it will ask if you want to upload that file to Transworld now. When you say yes, you'll receive a confirmation within about 1 to 2 seconds that this was sent successfully, so you'll click OK to acknowledge that. Then it lets you know if the file was sent successfully, click yes to update the external status to stop, so you can now be aware that you have sent an update to Transworld. Now you'll also find that in the event that the patient balance is paid in full, it'll give you one more helpful option. The following patients have a balance of less than or equal to $0. Do you want to remove them from collection? Transworld already knows. We're talking about removing them from collection management within eClinicalWorks. So if you say no, you can manually remove his account from collection later on, but you might want to go ahead and say yes. In that way, he will no longer be in the collection management within eClinicalWorks, so his account is reset.